Hello and welcome to another Salesforce Pro Suite self-implementation video. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through, this series that I've put together is really based on all the steps that I do when I implement a new org for a company, because I want to help you implement Salesforce without the expensive cost of a consultant. And so today's tutorial, I'm going to walk you through a bit of it's a bit of a mental process of how I work with a company and a system to design a system that their users are going to use. So you can see here I'm logged in to my Pro Suite org. And I want to let me just explain to you here kind of what I'm doing. So I want to understand, the cool thing is when you self-implement, it's like you know your business better than anybody, right? The problem is you don't know the technology. And so I'm here to kind of help you fill that gap of, okay, I know my business. How does the technology fit into that? So when I go to a company and I'm working with them, I'm in that opposite space, right? I know the technology, but I don't know their business. And so the process that I take them through is I basically say, I want to know what they're using the system for, what their goals are, what's their outcome, the outcomes that they want to achieve. And then we're going to kind of work back from there and say, okay, what data will support that outcome? So often it's going to be, we want to have better insight into our pipeline and our forecasting. We want to hit more sales. Our managers need more information to understand how they can help their sales reps, right? So when we start from there, the goal really is to kind of get more sales and have a more accurate forecast and pipeline. Okay, so I'm going to say, give me the data that's supporting that. That's probably accounts, that may be opportunities and contacts. And I'm going to say, where do you track that today? It might be in Excel. It might be in another spreadsheet. It might be in another system. It might only be in that salesperson's phone. And that's okay. That happens plenty. But what I want from them is give me at least, if you can, give me like 5 to 10 even records of those so that I can look at what does your business track? What makes you unique? What gives you your competitive edge? Let's look at those data sets. And so what I want you to do is go get those records, whether again, it's opportunities, accounts, contacts, and I want you to pull them together and then look at that data and first kind of give it a glance through and say, like, what's critical, right? And I don't want all the fluff. I want to say what will be a needle mover? Which information is going to make your salespeople more successful? That's the data we care about. So take a look at that data. And then what I want you to do, so even frankly, it's a bad idea because this is a YouTube video and you may never come back. But you must go get that data first and then come back to this session, to this part of the video, because you need to have that data in front of you while I'm walking you through this next step. And this next step is simply probably a bunch of things that you've done already, right? Which is I'm going to walk you through creating records, but I'm going to walk you through it in a way that will help you kind of think about the data that you brought and how you want to bring that in. Okay. All that said, we are here on an account, right? Core data information is going to be accounts and contacts. So let's just focus in on those two objects for now. When you have your account object, I want you to go and first create new. And you're going to, again, assess this layout according to, in comparison to your, the data that you've got. Just take notes, right? What's missing? What do you need? What do you need to remove? Sometimes the best thing is removing a field because it's not necessary. I've had a lot of times, industry used to be on here by default. And I remember having a customer who used to be a good friend of mine, and she's telling me she's in sales and she's like, we don't need industry. I'm like, what do you mean? Everybody needs an industry. You're in an industry, what do you mean? And she's like, no, we're all the same. Like we're in education. Like there's no differentiation. It adds no value. It's wasteful. Get rid of it. And it took me a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I guess, okay. Like, yeah, if you're all like, get rid of that field, right? Oftentimes fax number was the default. Like, get rid of it if you're not using it. Same thing here. If you're not using website, if it's not valuable, get rid of it. Type, this one you likely need, but let's clean this up, right? And actually have another video that I'm going to go through cleaning up this pick list, because this is a bit of a unique scenario in ProSuite and how to modify this. Check out video VD125 in this channel, and I'll walk you through how to clean this up. But because you don't want your, this is silly. Why, if you're only going to track prospects and clients, for example, why do you don't want somebody having to wade through all those other options in there? Okay, and then phone, billing address, again, shipping address. Maybe you don't need shipping address. But again, compare this to the data set that you're going to be importing, and then also have that same lens when looking at the data you're importing, have that same lens of with that import data, what do you need from that list? Because maybe you're tracking a bunch of information that you don't need, right? Okay, so there's that. And then also the same thing with the contact. And because I haven't done this in a video yet, I would really like to create a new contact with you, because I also, in some other videos, I promised like walking through this, and I think it's valuable because there are some things that trip people up. All right, so I went to the contacts tab. You can also create contacts from that account. There's lots of places in the system you can create a contact, but it should always open up this, pretty much always open up just this same video. All right, so this is just giving, me some previous data, fake data that we entered. So the one thing that can trip people up here is, okay, I'm entering Michelle Moorhead or Moorfield, but maybe she's with XYZ company. And so I'm going to enter that record here, and she is a manager, and going to fill out all the rest of this information, and I go ahead and save. And it's like, wait, give me an error. What? I put a company name in. It's clear. It's right here. Well, obviously, if I read this error, it's saying select an option from the pick list or remove the search term. Okay, well, I can remove the search term, but I don't see it here. There's a problem. This is where people get messed up. In order to create a contact, you have to have an account. And so you need to click new account. And then here is where I can say XYZ company. I can say that they're a prospect and enter that information. The nice thing is if I hit save, now it populates. You can see the icon, right? You can see I'm not getting that red error, and I can go ahead and try to hit save again. This one still says that, but I'm going to make sure. And there we go. So now it's saved, right? So again, that's just the process. I want you to walk through those key objects, whatever you're using. If you're using accounts and contacts, and then based on if you're using sales or service, go through those records, compare them to the data you're planning to import, and take detailed notes, because either you are going to create additional fields or an admin is, and you want to have that specific information ready to create. Also, when you're creating that list, identify which things are maybe critical or must-haves, and then also just maybe notate when, because some of those things might be required or needed as a customer, but you're not going to have them as a prospect. So I hope that helps. I'm not going to show you adding a new field here. I have another video that you can do. I wanted these to be short and concise, direct to the point. But check out VD130 for how you add new fields and to the layout. But just know too here, when you're on this record, there's so much of this that can be customized. And again, the other thing that I do when I first implement as I go and get rid of all the things that are not needed. So again, in that video on how I add a field and add it to the page layout, I'll show you also how I maybe remove things that I don't want the users to see because we're not going to implement now or ever, and I want that to not be just a clutter, add clutter to their view and to their mind and how they do their day-to-day operations. So again, I hope this is helpful for you. Please, again, let us know in the comments, give us your feedback, subscribe for more, and let us know if you have questions, what you like, what you don't like, and we'll see you again for another video on how to implement your Salesforce Pro Suite.